October 21, 1805. Off the sun-drenched coast of Spain, near Cape Trafalgar, history held its breath. The might of Napoleon's combined Franco-Spanish fleet, a colossal armada, is poised to sweep the English Channel clear. Their goal, a total invasion of Great Britain. Standing defiantly in their path is one man, and his fleet, Admiral Nelson, and the 27 ships of the line of the Royal Navy. The fate of an empire hangs in the balance. For centuries, naval warfare followed a strict, almost gentlemanly code. Fleets would sail in parallel lines, trading blows until one side faltered. It was predictable. It was orderly. But Nelson wasn't an ordinary admiral. He despised the rules. He conceived a radical, almost suicidal plan, a tactic that would become legendary as the Nelson touch instead of a parallel line. He would split his fleet into two columns and sail them directly into the enemy's teeth, straight at their powerful broadsides. The goal was to pierce the enemy line, shatter their formation, and create a chaotic ship-to-ship brawl, a pell-mell battle, as he called it. In this swirling melee, he gambled that superior British seamanship and aggression would overwhelm the enemy's numerical advantage. It was a gamble that could either win the war or annihilate his fleet. As the British ships plowed through the Atlantic swell, closing the distance to the enemy, a signal was prepared. At 11:45 a.m., high on the mainmast of HMS Victory, a sequence of colored flags fluttered to life. The message they spelled out would echo through the ages, becoming the most famous signal in naval history. England expects that every man will do his duty. It was a call to greatness, a personal message to every sailor, from the lowest powder monkey to the highest captain. It electrified the fleet. Moments later, as Nelson's columns smashed through the Franco-Spanish line, they unleashed hell. They executed the devastating maneuver known as raking fire, firing entire broadsides down the length of enemy ships from bow to stern. Cannonballs screamed through the packed gun decks, turning the very wood of the ships into deadly projectiles. The core of Nelson's strategy relied on one crucial factor: gunnery. While French and Spanish gunners were trained to aim high, targeting masts and rigging to disable ships, the British Royal Navy had a different philosophy. They trained for speed and lethality. British gun crews could fire their cannons twice, sometimes even 3 times faster than their opponents. And their target was not the rigging, but the hull. They aimed their great guns directly into the enemy ships, tearing open massive holes, dismounting cannons, and causing absolute carnage. The chaos Nelson had engineered worked perfectly. The superior numbers of the Franco-Spanish fleet were neutralized by the relentless, disciplined fury of British iron. In the heart of this swirling vortex of smoke and splinters, aboard the HMS Victory, Nelson paced the quarterdeck, a conspicuous figure in his full admiral's uniform. It was this bravery that made him a legend, but it also made him a target. A French sharpshooter, positioned high in the rigging of the Redoutable, took aim. The musket ball struck Nelson, and he fell. He was carried below deck, mortally wounded. But as he lay dying, reports trickled down to him. The enemy fleet was shattered. He lived just long enough to hear the words he'd longed for. Victory was total and complete. 22 enemy ships were lost or captured. The British, miraculously, lost none. Trafalgar wasn't just a battle. It was the end of Napoleon's dream of invading Britain. It secured the Royal Navy's dominance of the seas for the next 100 years, a century of Britannia ruling the waves. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into history, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories from the past.